feel that?
Hello. Thank you for joining me on tonight. We are going to continue with our last live broadcast. We talked about brain fog, and we're going to talk about brain fog to isolation, how it can lead to isolation, how you can lead to self-isolation, and sometimes it's the intent of the narcissist to isolate you. Hello there. How are you, Mandy? Thank you for joining me on tonight. Good evening, Mandy. I am fine. How are you? We are talking about brain fog to isolation, how it leads to isolation, and the damage that can be done when you isolate yourself, not only to you, to your family, to your friends. She said, yes, I have brain fog too. Are you currently dealing with that, or did you deal with it before? And Mandy, are you still in the midst of the situation with the narcissist, or have you been alleviated of the narcissist? She said, yes. Are you dealing with it right now? Tell me some of the symptoms you have with the brain fog. What are some of the things that you are encountering and you notice that you're dealing with the brain fog? Never before. Wow. So how long have you been dealing with brain fog, Mandy? How long have you been dealing with this brain fog? Because brain fog is tremendous. She said, I cannot make myself. She said, I cannot make decisions. Oh, you can. You can make decisions. She said, after the breakup. Okay. Mandy, the aftermath is something. And I need you to go to my last video where I dealt with that. I dealt with the aftermath of brain fog. It can be tremendous, but you can overcome that, and you can get your memory back. You can be restored. It's a process. It takes time because you have to go to the place of pain in order to get the place of healing that you want. How long have you been dealing with that, Mandy? How long have you been dealing with the brain fog? And have anybody else noticed it, or is just you dealing with it? 5 years? Mandy, why are you dealing with it 5 years? How long have you been away from the narcissist? How long have you been away from the narcissist? And what kind of help are you getting to deal with that? That is a long time to stay there. She said, but I have a good therapist now. Good. How long have you been with the therapist? How long have you been with the therapist? Mandy, how long have you been with the therapist? Dealing with brain fog. Brain fog is tremendous because it makes you insecure, because you have memory loss. And when you have memory loss, it affects every arena of your life. It affects you and your family, you and your children. It affects you and your job. But the most thing that it does is because of a lack of confidence or self-esteem, you start to isolate because you start to think that other people will notice. So you isolate yourself instead of putting yourself in groups or getting around people, because you don't want anybody to know that you're dealing with brain fog. And see, once you isolate, it gives the narcissist, if the narcissist is there, it gives them more control. And if you are away from the narcissist, it's good that you're getting a therapist, because the therapist, there's different kind of treatments that can help you in brain fog. She said for half a year now. She's really good. She said, and I already feel a little better She said, and no, she give me, okay, EMDR, okay, and voice dialogue. Good. That would definitely help the brain to recover, because there are so many aspects that the brain has incurred damage with that brain fog and the trauma that you've been through. She said, dear Helen, I was searched for a year for a good therapist. You searched for a year for a good therapist. Okay, I'm glad that you found one, Mandy. And I'm sure that therapists have within them, when you get the treatment that you're getting, is going to be really, really good. The EMDR is going to help the brain to heal, because brain, and many people don't realize that when you get brain fog, it is a result of brain damage. You are so welcome, Mandy. It is a result of brain damage. And remember, we talked about it when there was a study done, and the study is they took a narcissist and just placed it by the supply, and it went off the scale, the brain waves. Why? Because of the effect. When you have been traumatized, it goes in the memory, and the memory goes to the frontal lobe to bring to your conscious realm what you have been through. And that recall can be tremendous. When you're dealing with brain fog, you're forgetting, or you're delayed in your thinking. You can't hold retention as long as you could retain things. Your memory lapse. You're doing it on the job. You're doing it with the family. You put on the pot. You forgot the pot was on the stove. You're burning things. You forgot where your checkbook are. You forget where your keys are. You can't leave your credit card. So you find yourself having to write down every little thing. Every little thing. Because you're forgetting. Brain damage. Trauma affects the brain, y'all. Trauma can affect you. And brain fog, because of the distance from one thought to another thought, and the timeline from one thought to another thought, and it's registering you that I should remember this. I should know this. Why can't I recall this? Do you know, there have been some people dealt with brain fog so bad until they left a child at a restaurant, left a child at a store, left a child on top of the car because of brain fog. She said, yes, that's what those monsters do to you, dear ones. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because your pain is their gain. The more they want you to be with them, the more you have to suffer to stay with them. The person who stays with the narcissist the longest and the most get the most trauma. They get the most treatment of degradation, devaluation. Your brain cannot take all of this trauma. That's why you're dealing with CPSD and PTSD. You're traumatized. And of course, that's going to cause delay in your thinking. That's going to cause pressure on your mind. Of course, that's going to cause disillusionment. You're inconsistent in what you used to do. You find it very hard to be consistent in things that you used to master. You were very organized. You find yourself in disorganization. Why? Because your memory has been affected. And when you have operated at the top and you're no longer at the top of your game, guess what you're going to do? You're going to pull yourself from everybody and start to isolate yourself. She said, but I'm glad I have my own apartment and no kids. She said, just a sweet cat, but I'm so lonesome because I'm exhausted all the time. Why are you exhausted all the time? Mandy, why are you all exhausted all the time? You're no longer with the narcissist. Are you ruminating? Ruminating is when you think about what's happening. You keep, and that's PTSD. You keep landing in the grenade field of your past, what you've been through, what he took you through. Because your energy now should start to revive because you're away from the energy drainer. But if you ruminate, the brain doesn't know that when you think about them or you dream about them, the brain think you're still there. You got all of the smells, all of the touches, the voice, the rise in the voice, the low tone of the voice, the breathing, all of that. These are triggers, and these triggers can cause brain fog because once you remember that, your mind take you back to the incident. And when your mind take you back to the incident, it take you full gear of everything that has happened, the pain of it. If they were physically violent, psychologically violent, socially violent. And that means they take people and put people against you. She said, traumatized from childhood too. My mom is a narcissist and I protect myself from her. No contact. Good. That's a good thing. So you can survive. Do you find yourself dealing with isolation, Mandy? Do you find yourself dealing with isolation? She said, from my mother, I meant, sorry. Absolutely, I got it. So do you find yourself dealing with isolation? That you pull yourself from people because you can't trust what you do because of the brain fog? Yes, okay. So the isolation, it is a trauma mechanism, but what it does, it assaults your confidence. It assaults your confidence. Remember that. And see, isolation pull you back from other opportunities where wisdom can arise, where wholeness can arise, because you're by yourself, to yourself, listening to yourself, and you are only interjecting in your own mind. And remember, your own mind underwent a tremendous arsenal assault. And so the brain fog is the result of what you've been through. It's like your brain has been bombed. And so the brain fog is the evidence of the fallout. And so the fallout is what's going to isolate you because you can't trust that. When you release a bomb, the fallout is just as dangerous as the bomb itself. She said exactly. So Mandy, with the therapist, and I'm glad they're doing EMDR to help you reassess, readjust, and to help you recover. And the voice dialogue, because your brain remember everything. It forgets the things that it needs to do, but it remembers the pain. It remembers everything the narcissist said. It remembers how they touched you, how they helped you, how they mistreated you. And if there was physical violation, how they physically violated you. All of that is in your memory. And what you have to do with your therapist is go into the recovery zone where you get your energy back, you get your memory back, and you start remembering who you are. So we take you back to what you've been through so you can assess it, so you can give language to it, and it's a trigger. But all triggers are not damaging. Some triggers are there for your healing. So once you are triggered, it takes you back to the place of pain so we can assess it, so we can give language to it, so we can give verbiage to it, so you can understand what happened and you can move from it. Because once you understand what happened, then you can assess, this is not what I want. This is not what I'm going to continue. I'm going to change this about my life. That trigger then start the healing process. It start the wholeness process. And then you'll notice that when you go to the point of identification, and Mandy, you give language to that trigger, the fog amazingly start to lift. You start to recall, you start to remember, and when you start to remember, your level of confidence start to rise. And when your level of confidence start to rise, you come out of isolation Hello there, Deborah. How are you? Blessings to you too. After 2 EMDR sessions, I have no more nightmares anymore from my ex. Good job. So now you know with the EMDR, if it takes away the nightmares, it's going to slowly cause the degeneration of your thoughts and your memory to go to the recovery zone, and you will start to recall again. You will start to recall again, Deborah. That is fantabulous news. And Deborah said, I'm doing awesome. Deborah, we are talking about brain fog to isolation, how brain fog can take you to isolation. And it's the intent of the narcissist, because when you move away from everybody, it gives them more empowerment over you. And the more you are unsure of yourself, then the narcissist start to transcribe who you are. The narcissist start to tell you who you are. And most of the time they do that by telling you you are not. You are so welcome, Mandy. I am just so glad to hear the good news of how you changing, how things are working for you, and the progress. Because it's good to have a good night's sleep. Because when you rest the body, the brain has more opportunities for healing with a rested body. You know what I mean? And see, when you are in brain fog, it affects your sleep. Insomnia is attached to brain fog. Why? Because you're worried, you feel with anxiety, and you can't sleep because you're wondering what's going on. And that's why isolation, once again, that word, that's why you isolate, because you don't want anybody to know that you are actually dealing with this mind abuse, this brain fog. You're forgetting things. You forget to call your friend, and you and your friend go out every Wednesday. This Wednesday you forgot. You didn't even think of it. You didn't even know it was Wednesday. Why? Because you lose time with brain fog. You lose a sense of days with brain fog. You don't know what day it is. You don't know what time it is with brain fog. Brain fog is detrimental. But just like gaslighting, it is a major avenue for the narcissist. Because when the narcissist want to gaslight, brain fog help them to gaslight you. Why? Because when they tell you you forgot something and they notice you got a trace or a track or a pattern of memory loss, they come in to increase that by gaslighting you, telling you you didn't do this, or somebody said this, or you said this. None of those things are actuality. You didn't say this, they didn't say this, and nobody did this. But because you have brain fog, you can't prove them wrong. So now you are doubtful of what you do. You are doubtful of yourself. You can't trust yourself. Why? Brain fog. Which is going to lead to what? Isolation. When you don't trust yourself, you don't trust yourself around people. And the narcissist want, she said, I hope he gets his karma, praying to God. Oh, honey. The Bible said, be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. So you don't have to be concerned about that. All you do is think about getting you better. Don't pray evil for them. God got this. All we need to do is get Mandy on her feet. What we need to do is get Mandy back to her old self so we can get Mandy back to her new self. Because we can't give you, increase you or innovation until we get you back to Mandy. When we get Mandy back, oh, she's going to be very powerful. I am getting ready to do a video called the Thoroughbred Supply. Ooh, woo. That is some yum. That's going to be some good teaching. So I want you to make sure, those of you that are on, that you subscribe to this channel, like and share the page. And I'm telling you, brain fog is not permanent. Brain fog is temporary. Even though it's going to take work, yes ma'am, yes sir, you're going to have to work that thing. But when you work it, you can recover it. Honey, everything that the narcissist do is not permanent. She said, well, I have a woman friend, but I broke it off because she took all of my energy. Ooh wee. Well, I'm glad you did break it off because you don't need nothing that's an energy drainer. She said, yes, I'm going to be fine, Helen. Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, you are. And this is why we do programs like this. We want you to know that you got somebody that believes in you, that you got somebody that understand. We understand because we had to recover and we had to go to those processes. We had to go to those triggering effects. We had to walk the painful road of recovery. And not only recovery, we had to go to healing. And not only healing, we had to go to a healthy us again, where the whole lifestyle is healthy. The mind, the body, the spirit, the soul, socially, financially. Come on, we had to do all of that because everything is affected by brain fog. That's why the narcissists love isolation. And Mandy said, and my therapist said, she is also a narcissist. What? Your therapist says she is a narcissist. Okay, I'm done, Mandy. Mandy? Okay. Yeah. Shelley said, what? If your therapist is a narcissist, they're not going to get your total healing. How? How can that happen? She said, yes, indeed, I focus on my healing. She said, but I still think and talk about what the ex-narcissist done. She said, I'm 8 years free and I need deliverance. If you come on these programs, come on, Deborah, you know how I work. You know we going to do this thing. You're going to find yourself getting better and getting stronger. Mandy, a little bit concerned about that last statement. She said, no, I don't mean you, my woman friend. Did you mean your therapist is a narcissist? Is that what you said? She said, and my therapist said she's also is a narcissist. Oh, she's your woman friend is a narcissist. I can see that if you're drained. So if you're drained, that may be the cause of why you're drained. Because your friend is a narcissist. Oh, okay, I get it. I thought you were saying your therapist is a narcissist, but your friend, and that's why you had to leave her alone, because she was draining you too. Oh, I can see that. I can see that. So I can agree with your therapist that you probably need to check out that energy absorber. Narcissists need a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy for them to occupy, take a lot of energy for them to work. And that's why narcissists, they're vampires when it comes to the energy realm. They take and isolate you so they can suck all the energy out of you. Nobody else can get any because they're going to get it. And if your friend, by the time you leave her, Mandy, and you was exhausted, that is why. She said, my therapist said that my friend is absolutely, I got it. I got it. Because I know you shouldn't be seeing a narc for a narc. But your therapist, right. Yes, she was draining me and was lying a lot. Girl, stay away from that. When you done came through a war zone, you don't need that. You don't need that. What you are saying is, look, I'm done with this. I'm over you. I'm over it. And I'm not going to repeat. See, you're getting rid of brain fog of 5 years. Yet you don't need a friend that's going to exercise what you left. That's going to manifest what you left. Going to release what you don't want. The one thing you don't want is draining. Because if you're already dealing with brain fog, she's going to add to it. Smart girl Mandy to go NC. I applaud you. I applaud you. Because guess what? You don't need any more damage. You don't need any more bombs landing in your court when you're trying to clear from the fallout. You're trying to clear the mask. Good job, Mandy. Like that. So Deborah says she still think about what the narcissist does. And she's 8 years. You know what, Deborah? If you stay on this program and you keep coming, she said, I'm glad you got an idea, Helen. Oh, idea, baby. I got the experience, and I got more than an idea. I got the experience under my belt. That's why we can talk. We doing some girl talk, because we can talk about this thing, and we can talk about it from what we know, and not what somebody told us, and not what somebody said. She said, thank you. You are so welcome, Mandy. This has been awesome, Mandy, talking to you. And I'm hoping that when you get off of here, the brilliance of you, the beauty of you, you will know that we recognize that. She said, I sure will. Yeah, Deborah, deliverance is here. Because once you recognize something, you can deal with it. But you got the language for it. Sometimes we don't recognize what we're going through, and we don't have the language for it. And if you don't have the language for it, you can't benefit from it. Because I don't know how to deal with it. I don't know how to add voice to it. And I got the experience, but I don't quite know what I'm dealing with. She said, thank you for all you do. Oh, Deborah, love it. I love it. That's why I'm here. It's 1 o'clock my time, because it's the only time that I could come. And I want to come and give voice and hear your voice, because you matter. You are vitally important, and your voice is a heavyweight to your experience. She said, I feel blessed talking to you too. Oh, thank you, Mandy. God bless you. And Deborah, healing is here for you. Deliverance is here for you. 8 years, Deborah. And how long were you with the narcissist again, Deborah? How long were you with them? If you are with a narcissist for 3 to 6 months, it usually takes 2 years of therapy. So can you imagine if you're with them for 8 years, 20 years, 30 years? Serious therapy. Sometimes they can be expedited with how the therapy works for you. So everybody, there are exceptions to the rule, always. Some people that been with the narcissist for 10 years can come in with a made-up mind and get the therapy they need. She said, you're welcome and God bless you. She says, it's hard for me that people don't believe what happened to me. No. Little princess, Deborah, you don't care about that? Of course they're not going to believe. Who's going to believe that somebody can be that cruel? When they see them, they're not. You got an inside narcissist and an outside narcissist. The in-house narcissist is who you really dealing with. The outside narcissist is who they dealing with. And the outside narcissist is not going to display those bad behaviors. The inside narcissist, when it's you and him, because you're the supply of devaluation. And devaluation start at the moment of introduction. It's just not visible. It's hidden in plain sight. Because even in the love bombing, the devaluation skates through there. And then the reason you got brain fog is because the constant pressure on your mind. She said, Deborah, I hear you people. Don't believe me too. She said, well, let me put it this way. I don't understand the abuse and what they do, and they try to break you every day. She said, I was in it for 7 years and didn't know till 5 years after I was gone. Oh my God. All right, Deborah. But you 3 years, it's been 8 years. You didn't know 5 years, but it's been gone 8 years. Thank God you got out. Deborah, I know some people who didn't make it out. They didn't make it out, princess. They didn't make it out with their body. and they didn't make it out with their mind. Some of them lost their mind and kept their body. Some of them lost both, their body and their mind, because they're no longer here. Brain fog is very destructive to your confidence. It's very destructive to your character. It's very destructive to your person. That's why the narcissist's highest element in brain fog is isolation. She said, amen, I thank God daily. Absolutely, Deborah. Absolutely. You got a voice now. Look at the language you have. Once you backtrack, once you look back, you got language. You didn't have language before. Now you got language. Language is the roadway to help others understand. Remember that. Your voice is the sounding mechanism that will cause others who have deaf ears with what they're going through, because they feel like you feel. Nobody hear me. Nobody understand. She said, I'm praying for you, dear Deborah. She said, please try loving yourself again. Best thing in the world. Best thing in the world. It is better than chocolate when you give back to yourself. But like you had to utilize, Mandy, that EMDR, and it help you. Deborah, keep listening to these programs. Keep educating yourself with what you've been through. When a trigger comes, don't run from the trigger. Confront the trigger. Stand the pressure of the triggers. I'm going to do a video on triggers, because a lot of times people run from triggers because they don't want to think about it. But how can you not? You went through too much. Hey, Laura, how are you? She said, I'm still ruminating about my ex. She said, but it happens she said, but it happens when I figured out what I was, the scapegoat, and set up to be the target. Oh my God. See, absolutely, Laura. Laura, are you out of it, or are you still in it? Are you out of it, or are you still in it? Let me know. Are you out of it, or are you still in it? Because when you in it and you're dealing with brain fog, it's a different beast. Because when you're dealing with brain fog, in hindsight, you have the propriety of healing more than the person who's in it. Because the person that's in it, it's like pressure goes on your mind, and then you get some temporary relief. Then you go back in it, then you get some temporary relief, and then the next thing you know, you are back in it. So the pressure keep coming, and each round goes with more increase. She said, thank you, dear Deborah. Remember, we are stronger than the narcissist. Absolutely. Absolutely. So check this out, though. Why do you think the narcissist prefers isolation? Come on, y'all, answer that question. Why do you think the narcissist prefers isolation? When you are alone, you left to your own voice. And the narcissist, in this time, when the narcissist knows that you are dealing with isolation, he ghosts you. He gets you to be alone. He may even discard. And he's robotic. Goes to the room, don't say anything. Come home, halfway talk. And you are dealing with brain fog. And he noticed you done start to isolate yourself. So when you start to isolate yourself, he mirrors your isolation. And he start to isolate himself from you. And leaves you to you. Because what this is going to do is cause deeper isolation. What he does, notice the narcissist. Whatever you are dealing with, the narcissist mirror that thing. She said, it's a punishment. Absolutely. Intentional. On purpose. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And it is not just an option, it is almost mandatory because they need you in the worst state in order to empower themselves. Your worst state empowers the narcissist. Your worst states empower the narcissist. In isolation, pretty soon it's like an echo system. When you echo needs room in order to the voice to travel and bounce that voice off of something in like a hollow and come back. She said, and that's for sure. So when the narcissist began to go take you into the isolation forum, he take you into a system of echo. Notice the narcissist repetitive with what he tells you about you that you can't do, that you won't do. They always tell you your inabilities. They always show you your faults, your mistakes. Always. Because that is in the mind of the narcissist. And believe it or not, go back to the last video where I dealt with brain fog. The narcissists want you to remember what they do, but they don't want you to remember your accomplishment. If you notice in the brain fog, you don't forget what the narcissist does. You only forget what you do, what you're supposed to do. But you're remembering what they said. You're remembering what they did. You're remembering the time they come. You're remembering what they want. The one thing that the narcissist wants to do is isolate you. Because they can control your finances, the children, your friends. If you're isolated, they're gone. The family, you can be 2 minutes away from your family. You won't even see them. And you're struggling to see them. And you're only 2 minutes away. You're struggling to call them. Because when you're home and you're with brain fog, you are trying to remember simple things. How to go about your day, especially those of you who are business owners that have been affected by the narcissist, infected by the narcissist, and you're not as effective as you were before. She said, please, lady, try MDR. Okay, Mandy, I don't want you to take away from the subject. I want you to stay with me, Mandy. Let me talk to the ladies, because if you take over the forum, then they're not going to hear my words. They're going to hear your words, and I don't want you to take over the forum. There's too much of a sacrifice for me for you to do that. Work with me, Mandy. Ladies, listen to me. Okay. Mandy. All right, ladies. I need you to hear me. I need you to turn all attention to me. I need you to turn all attentions to me. Listen to me, ladies. I'm here for you. But if you take over the forum, you're going to lessen my voice. I don't want to lessen my voice. My voice should be the greatest voice here, because I'm the voice for you. All right, can we have that? Let's have that respect. Because what you can do afterwards, ladies, if you want to, you can meet each other in the comment section. Thank you so much, Mandy. I really appreciate that. She said, I completely forgot about me, my goals, my dreams. She said, and took a back seat. It was all about him. That's the way it always is. Mandy, thank you so much for understanding. I really appreciate that. You and Deborah, if you want to, in the comment section, Mandy, you can tell Deborah what that is so she can understand. Because it's a form of therapy and it's very effective for some people. It's not effective for everybody, but it works for some people. And listen to me. Brain fog to isolation. And that's Angel. Of course, Angel, you forgot all about your goals because brain fog won't let you remember your goals. As a matter of fact, if you notice once you start brain fog, you start inconsistent in your life. You were inconsistent to things you was once organized with, you was once on schedule with, you once did, you was on top of your game. She said, and Laura said, I got out 15 months ago. See? But the one thing about it, Angel, everything about you get knocked off by the narcissist. And it is about them. It's all about them. And they cannot take second fiddle to nothing because it causes an injury. Because remember, they have a sense of entitlement, they have grandiosity. So everything is about them. She said, APS gave me a voucher for vulnerable adult abuse. Oh my God. Wow. What did that say to you? What did that say to you? That was a message to you. That should be mentally capturing. That you went to that abuse and had a voucher to get help because of that. Wow. And Laura, you've been out 15 months. 15 months. Now you're going to the healing process. But Laura, did you find the healing difficult? She said, I apologize, Apostle Helen. Oh, Deborah, you're already forgiven, girl. Thank you so much for understanding. I really appreciate you and Mandy. But I want to help you with everything I got. All of my time, and you know my schedule is off the yang until I have to come on in the lateness of the hour to be with my girls, to let you know that you are better than chocolate. Come on, ladies. We can do this. We got less than 20 minutes. What can we say to each other to help each other in 20 minutes? You got to get out of isolation. If you're isolated, you got to come out of isolation. It is the forum that the narcissists love. Laura said, my family ganged up on me and got protective order, tried to imprison and institutionalize me. I was swatted after 3 suicides. What? In the family. And the golden daughter just suddenly, unexpectedly died. 12:30. Oh my God. Laura, that's a dangerous pack. When we wake up to information, we wake up to who we are. Suicides. Ooh, typo. Okay. Wow. Wow. That's why you got to be stronger. That's why, Lori, you cannot be isolated. Brain fog can be overcame, but you have to have a lot of positive input, a good therapy. My nephew is fighting in Ukraine. My life is insane. Oh my God. Laura, we're going to remember to pray for you and your family. That is a lot of mental pressure. That is a lot of mental stress to deal with. But know that we will be praying for you. Angel says, yes, he convinced me I had ADHD and would say had a bad memory. Such brain fog. She said, felt like sleepwalking. Yep, that's what it feels like. She said, and I was a shell of myself, but I got out free 3 years, no contact now. Yes, yay! Good job, good job. Love it, love it. Mandy said, I'm sorry, Helen, I did not want to take this floor. She said, but I think I am so blessed by this therapy. Oh, I understand. Celebrate. Honey, you celebrate. You earn to celebrate. They're just a place that you have to release. And one of the places you can release is in the comment. In the comment, explain what it is. Because these ladies go to the comments. And make sure, ladies, you put your comment in the comment section. Come on. We got about 15 minutes left. She said, Angel, I feel sorry for you. Oh, we're going to pray for Angel. She's undergoing a lot. That's a lot of stress. But we're going to pray for her. We're going to believe God for victory for her and for her nephew that is over in Ukraine fighting the war, which everybody knows about. It's televised. They're fighting against Russia, and we are believing God for victory. And on top of this, you're dealing with brain fog. On top of this, some of you dealing with isolation. On top of this, it looks like there's no way out, because isolation can look like being in a small room and everywhere you look, there's doors, but they are all shut, or the window, and they all shut. And it look like when you're talking, your voice is loud on an income system in your mind, and the echo of your voice. That's, you need help. If you are in a position like that, it is beyond you by yourself. Get you a good therapist. Get you a good life coach. I recommend a therapist and a life coach. A therapist take you deeper than a life coach can, because a life coach is not familiar always with the medical terminology or the medical aspect, where the therapy like EMDR that Mandy was talking about, there are certain things that the therapist can do that the life coach do not qualify. But if you get a skilled life coach with a therapy, because there may be medications that is necessary to bring your brain from the hostility that it underwent, and the coach take and coach your life back on track. Put your life back on track, because the therapist going to do the medical, they're going to do the healing part in their arena, but the life coach can take your whole aspect except the medical arena and safeguard it and place you on the trail of success, where you refamiliarize yourself with yourself, introduce yourself to yourself again, and bring forth your new, renewed, regenerated self. Come on now. Angel, God is for you, and there's nothing impossible for him. 2 suicides in your nephew, the stress your mind must have undergone. But I thank God for your victory too. I really do. Yeah, I really do. Come on, y'all. We got 12 minutes. Let's encourage each other for 12 minutes. Let's take these 12 minutes and maximize. Brain fog is no joke, but neither are we. What the narcissist, and I'm going to tell you something. Once you come out of it, that's when you start hitting everything. If you think you went through with him or her there, because sometimes it's a family member. But think about when you get out. You no longer with the narcissist, but you got to revisit these painful places. And like she said, I didn't even understand until 15 months I was out of it. It took 5 years for her to understand what she had went through, what kind of arsenal that the narcissist used against her. And her mind, brain fog, like sleepwalking, walking around in a daze. Deborah said, the narc mom is a narc, and I was 2 times she played the game with him. See, when you have a narcissist, they have a narcissist family, they always gang up on you. They can always take the narcissist side. It's almost like Rosemary Baby. They're going to always do it. She said brain fog is like an out-of-body experience, so foggy. She's like quicksand. And the narc makes it worse by hiding things from you. See, they're gaslighting and telling you lost things, had headaches too. Absolutely. Because brain fog with gaslighting, that's horrible. It's horrible because you don't know the reality. You don't know what's real and you don't know what's not real. You don't know whether they lying or you lying because you don't know what to believe. You don't know what's true because you no longer trust yourself. And that's why brain fog can lead to isolation. Why? Because you can't trust yourself. You can't trust yourself. So you isolate to try to get yourself together, to try to get your mind together, to try to see what's real, to try to get out of the non-realities, the alter realities. But you can't do this by yourself. And you don't trust your family. The narcissist got you not trusting your friends. There is somebody you can trust. PsychologyToday.com have therapists that can help you. She said, yes, Angel, I had that too. That can help you. And they have narcissist specialist therapy. Just don't get a therapist. Get a therapist that specializes with narcissists because they understand the abuse and the torture that you went through. Because the narcissists have to have torture. They have to have you down. They have to have you out. The narcissist does. And you're thinking, why would a person want to be with a person that they want to hate or hurt? Have you ever looked in their eyes and their eyes were black and you saw pure hatred? And you wonder, how could you sleep with me every night and hate me like that? Let me tell you something. Brain fog is tremendous. And those of you who have went through brain fog, I want to applaud you for your survival skills. I want to honor you for coming through it, because I know a lot of people that did not come through it. I want you to write me, destinyhepper12s@gmail.com. She said, I didn't know anything about this. I didn't know what was happening to me, but God. Oh, Deborah, I know. That's why I'm here, because of our survival skills. God has blessed us, brought us through trauma. And what you come through something, she said, I feel like I'm floating mind, separate from my body. Yes, Lori, I know. She said, my therapist is a specialist in narcissism. Good. But that's why she's using the EMDR. And you can put that in the comment section, Mandy. Let me tell you something. Brain fog, she said, yes, black eyes. I asked him, why you looking like that? Yeah, totally demonic. And you can see the hate in them. They call it the narcissist stare, where it's like they're piercing through your bones with such hatred. She said, yes, I saw those darkness in his eyes. She said, really scary, and I'm glad I'm honest and a loving person. That's Mandy, absolutely. She said, yes, black eyes. Caught him staring at me one time, and it sent chills up my spine. It was pure evil. Absolutely, Angela. So, Angel, if that was pure evil, and the Bible said the eyes is the window to the soul, and if that's coming from them, what do you think you're dealing with? No wonder we can talk about brain fog. No wonder we can talk about isolation. No wonder you ladies on here got a voice. No wonder you can encourage each other like you can go on. No wonder you can strengthen each other, because your survival skills in God has brought you through this. And guess what? Now you have a voice. Now you can tell your story. And as you tell your story, we are listening. Ladies, why don't you join me on Clubhouse every Tuesday at 7:45 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Let us hear your voice. And see, on Clubhouse, there's auditory. so we can hear you. We can hear your testimony. She said, yes, indeed. I'll never forget that look. None of us will. None of us will. And all you have to do is have it one time. She said, A got a psychiatrist, psychologist, and a caseworker, and a team from the Jewish board. Good. I hope it's helping. All right, ladies, my hour is up. I really appreciate you joining me. I come on now. Every Monday, I will do a video. Every Wednesday, I'll do a video. Every other Monday, every other Wednesday, I'm coming on live. So make sure that you are subscribed to my channel, and every time I come on, you will be alerted. Remember, every Monday, every Wednesday, I'm doing a video, and sometimes it's a short video, sometimes it's longer. But every other Monday, every other Wednesday, we call it Innovative Monday, Fantabulous Wednesday, I will be coming on live. And Angel, oh, you are so welcome. Angel, Laura, Deborah, I thank you, Mandy. Thank you so much for joining me. And I want to see you guys live. So make sure you subscribe to my channel, because you were such a blessing tonight. And I want you to know I love you. He didn't look like himself. It wasn't him. You know what that was, Deborah. It looked like what it was. And what it was is what it displayed. Evil is nothing but evil, right? All right, ladies, I'm going to have to say good night to you. I love you all. Good night, everybody. And I will see you in 2 weeks live. But make sure that you check my videos, Mandy. Yeah, check my videos, like and share the videos. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I love you. I'll see you in 2 weeks. And I'll see you on Tuesday mornings at 7:45. Make sure you join me. I love you to life. Hey, you are survivors, and I'm proud of you girls. God bless you. Bye-bye. Remember, Destiny Helper 12s@gmail.com.